days, and yes, what are we doing different this week? You can see it on the screen. We are timing. Yes, we're keeping things well in order moving forward. Because we've been a little bit freestyle for these last couple of weeks. Well, 26 weeks exactly, 26 videos. But here we are, myself, the amazing Lee Anywhere. We are Extreme Business Set Mind Series. Yes, Extreme Business Set Mind Series. Diving into Jenny on a week-to-week basis, unless I take ad hoc time off, I haven't got internet, or do you know what? I've lost my head. Other than that, I am here every week. Lee, if he lost his head, he'd still find a way of being here. I know he would. He'd be here in spirit, for sure. But this week's subject is a passion of mine. Actually, I'm going to say it's a thorn in the side passion of mine. And what I mean by that is there are so many bad habits within this community, and there are so many poor platforms within this community. And I'm going to say it. Half of them are absolutely not worth the time you give. Has networking lost its purpose? Now, why I say this is Zoom has become the place to network. Unless you're in a BNI or some kind of physical one, everything's done there. I have been on some networks in the last 2 years, and I've come off there and I thought, I cannot invoice anything to myself, and I mean to myself, what I've learned, how I've changed, my process of thought, the connections, anything at all. A lot of networking is just turning up and having a Zoom frigging coffee. And I've even become frustrated with, do you want to have a coffee Zoom? No. I'd rather have a coffee with my wife. I'd rather have a Zoom where it gives me more time to have coffee with my wife. No, it takes time. Because that's what's happening is, with all due respect, with all the networking platforms out there, I've really enjoyed you. I've been there. But please understand, if you're going to create a networking platform that's there to just enjoy a chinwag, say chinwagging, not networking. If you're going to create a networking platform that has substance to it, then give what that substance is. Nobody's saying, oh, these are our 10 essentials to accountability to networking. That is not out there either. People think, oh, yeah, come to us. No. Networking has lost its purpose. In my experience, it's not my opinion, in my experience. What's your thoughts, Lee?
And in many ways, I say you're right, unless there's a structure put on it. Because what's the end game? And I think some people are in the wrong timing of what they do. They go to a network, or regardless of which one it is, and they have expectations on it. That's what they have. Nobody's aware of their expectations or opinions or beliefs. And some are way back. So, for instance, what's the end game? Either to grow your business or grow your profits or get more clients, which grows your business and grows your profits. But how do you get more clients? A lot of people go into a network. So let's take it into an example. Let's say I'm a printer. So I go into a network with the illusion or the assumption that, in a sense, everybody in the network is going to need a printer. So, which is a logical assumption. So if there's, 50 people in the network and 50 people buy, I've got 50 new clients.
Okay.
And the ones that don't buy, are they negative? Or if they've got a relationship with a printer they've done business with for years? Or if I'm an accountant, same problem. So a lot of people network to sell.
Yeah.
Now, there's a few problems here. There's internal currency, as in, are you ready for success? Do you know what success you want? Do you know how you're going to grow your business and in what areas? Do you know why that's important to you? Yeah. Have you got a business plan with a timeline of specifically set targets of growth? And then have you overlaid that back specifically down to who you need to network with and when you need to network with them, and do you have the relationship with them? So networking isn't net selling. So if I'm a printer and I'm going into a group, yeah, or an accountant, I shouldn't have any expectation on that group for them to buy or purchase anything from me. Period. Done. And if I go in with that principle,
Lee,
then
you have just now removed probably 95% of people's expectations as to why they network. Is
that is a
because
network.
they go in selfishly saying, I want you to buy from me. That's 95% of people's attitude in the SME world networking right now, today, this morning.
Yeah, and what they do with that is they put social language on there. And if anything, it's actually the thorn in my side that destroys networks, is that they go in with the premise that that's not what they're doing.
Yeah.
They bring their business or their product or service into the conversation too quick, because networking is about relationships of people. To get a referral, what you're actually doing is somebody has passed in their reputation, their trust, their relationship, their credibility. When they refer you, they're giving you their autonomy of value in that relationship over, so that their person they're passing you to is safe, that you are the solution to that person's problem. And if it's done correctly, not in the, let's say, I don't know, it depends what you're selling. If you're selling pens, then probably none of this applies. But if your business or your network in strategy is about selling pens rather than about business growth, market share, what part of the market do you want to take? Oh, I want to be international. In what countries? What country first? What part of that country? What zip code, air code, or postcode? And people say this has changed because we're in a virtual world. It hasn't, because your zip code, postcode, or air code will determine the demographic.
Yeah.
In any market, you need a demographic, but to go with the demographic, you need a psychographic. Whatever your potential client or prospect, whatever experience or problem they're having, whatever emotion they're feeling, that's what, in a sense, a good product or service solves. That being effectively communicated through a network. So people that are networking, selling their product or service and putting good language and good personality and the life and soul of the party, that's all right, sold 20 pence. And it's all fake. How can you refer fake? And that's the point. How can you refer fake? And not only that, see, the people sometimes we're networking with don't have the way of it all to say, I don't do that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't come here to buy pens. I came here to get to know you, to see how I could refer you to the people I already know.
Let me jump in on that, Lee, if I can, because here's where we are. There is the majority of percentage of people that network don't have a referral quality. So meaning that they don't, and I'm going to stick my neck out because I'm going to go from 20 years of experience up until the point where in the ECI where I network mostly now. Well, all. But I'm going to say that there are not many networking groups, environments, and we could have a difference of opinion on this. I've experienced many up until, and yes, it could be the state of the chapter I was in the BNI, but even in that chapter, I've not been in a networking event where I've experienced quality referral opportunities. I've not had somebody that can refer me that has a quality database behind them. I've not had that experience. And you're right. If I'm referring somebody, then I am putting my whole business reputation on the line. And I didn't understand that until I joined the ECI, although I had experiences in the past. You know, people need to understand, need to actually look at the quality they have in their referral bank before they even go networking, to even know if they're actually in the place to network in the first place with authenticity and integrity. What's your thoughts on that, please?
I'd agree with you in some ways, because I don't think it's the letters, whether it's BNI or ECI. I do know from doing a lot with BNI that on the admin side, the DC side, there's a lot of awareness to upskill the people, and that's why they have 7 core values, one of them which being personal development. Yeah. And this comes back to emotional currency. If you, not you being you, but anybody goes into it, whatever network, and they're not willing to develop themselves and grow being an organic term like a tree growing or a plant growing. So it's, see, let's just flip the language slightly, segregate it so it's heard. Yeah. And I don't know whether this is the right segregation, but in my head it is. There's the organic self and there's the developed self.
Okay.
The developed self does not run on organic, everyday social construct programming, stuff we learned in school. What we learned in school is personal. Yeah. When we develop a self, it becomes professional.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So when we utilize them, we might be a brilliant communicator at school with friends and families and groups, and that might stand us instead. So we've got, let's call it an organic skill. And we might have a bit of an energy with it when we go into a room. Our energy within the social construct serves us. Where some people might have an energy, yeah, because the network's made up, it's diverse, it should be, made up of all different shapes and sizes.
Okay.
And some people are quiet and they don't say much, yeah. And so, I mean, if you see it, even virtual events, real world events, and I done it the other day. I was at an event in Dublin, and it's victim of volunteer. You ask for a volunteer, as in like you put a question to the audience and somebody answers it. Yeah, it's going to be the confident one that answers it. It's going to be the one that either is able to speak in that environment. A lot of people can't. Well, a good leader would get the people that can't speak and give them the experience in the moment, the micro moment, or the nano moment, to develop themselves.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point to something, I'm going to throw something into the audience randomly, yeah, and throw it. And what's your name? John, can you stand up? John. And now I haven't done victim or volunteer, but I've done victim. Because now I'm utilising something, yeah, randomly, yeah, or I could take one of them T-shirt pumpers and fire them out, which I've done, and wherever it lands, and I can say, right, throw it over your shoulder, right, third one that gets it, stand up. They don't know what's coming. As it stand up, hold on to it, can do it again. And let's say you want 5 or 6 people. You've got to get them randomly, because once the example's set of why you want that person up,
yeah,
the others won't catch the T-shirt, or the others will catch the T-shirt. And you can see energy. So when it comes back to networking, you've got some that think they're good networkers and are, and some that think they're good networkers and are. You've got people that are very good. And what I've seen, to bring it back to that referral bit, is one of the things you want, regardless of what network, is relationships. Yeah, you want good relationships. So you've got know, like, and trust. So they're comfortable with you, one. Yeah, that they're comfortable with your service and product, that your reputation's good. Yeah, so you want the relationship with the reputation to get the referral.
Okay.
Yeah, within that, yeah, is you want to be safe in their environment, but you also want to be secure in your future if you refer them.
Okay. In the person, yeah. So the person that's referring needs to be safe in referring that person.
So, yeah, safe with them, and see, safe is present, secure is future. Because when you pass that person, because it's networking, it's not a plural, yeah. It's not like it's not. You're looking for referrals, not a referral.
Okay.
There's an S on the end, yeah. So the point is that when I pass John to Mary, if I've done a good job, Mary's going to be happy and John's going to be happy. One.
Okay.
Now, that's a referral. Now we want referrals. Now, if Mary has 10 of John's ideal clients and Mary refers John to all of them, or the majority, John's done really well. But then if Mary's ideal clients refer John to their ideal clients or their friends, family and friends, and Mary refers John as well to her family and friends, as well as a business contact. Before you know it, Mary and John are friends. And this could go on for 4 or 5 years, but I swear to you, as soon as John makes a mistake, Mary's going to remember who connected them.
Yeah, I see that.
And every single one in Mary's network that complains to Mary, if John's let them down, they're going to remember Mary, and Mary's going to say, well, I only connected you because I trust Lee Tunney Ware. And I trusted that Lee Tunney Ware wouldn't have connected me or referred me if he didn't trust that person.
Thinking about that, you know,
there's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that exchange of trust. You know, Lee, in all honesty, I don't see many people, or haven't seen many in network, even understand the philosophy of that, or even as much give a damn about that philosophy, because their only concern is, if I refer you, then you best refer me twice over.
Yeah, but that's sort of like the B&I model, because the B&I model has to put a franchise model together. Yes. And even though it's international, it's not. It is, but it's not. It's not an international network. It's a network of international chapters. And the biggest failure, I think, in networks is once they've got the know, like, and trust, and they've got the ability to refer each other, they start having the wrong conversations. They start talking about what's not right. They start they get the relationship. And instead of going, right, now we've got the relationship, how can we serve each other? Who do I know that would be good for you? Who do you know that would be good for me? Yeah, these are my business goals. This is my business plan for the next year, 18 months. These are the types of contacts or collaborators I'm looking for 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now. These are the types of clients, as my business grows, I'm going to be looking for. These are the introductions I'm going to need to make that happen. These are the industries, yeah, that they're involved in. But a lot of people go, well, now I know John. Yeah, do you know that Paul? And it becomes like a vent shop, as in they've held themselves together so good for months, and then when they don't see the shiny objects they expect,
yeah.
Because you ask them where they're going, ask them for their business plan, ask them for their goals, ask them for their goal timeline, ask them for, like, not well, where are you going to be 6 months from now, as in your business? Well, I hope to be. Can you show it to me? What do you mean, show it to you?
Lee, let me come in, because I want to just jump, because this is to me is like fueling so much of empty invoices that I've had these 20 years, and I say it that way because up to given day, present day in my business time of 20 years, I'm going to say that probably the first 10 years I had many of these conversations, but the last 10 years, in the way networking has gone, I'm going to say that I'm still only about 4 conversations in the last 10 years I've actually had that level of quality of networking conversation with. I found, and the bit you said before that, which is people get into this place of relaxed, easy, almost cup of coffee, breakfast kind of conversation, where actually come off there with a feel-good factor, like you are feeding the birds, but nothing much more, because there's nothing more behind it, because that person hasn't asked, I am being delivered, or I haven't asked either. Okay, let's have the, and if we do ask, sometimes, 99% of the time, nobody has that information anyway, because they're not prepped or are ready for that type of networking call. Sadly, I put the word sadly there.
But is that their fault, your fault, or is that an awareness? Because that's normally when they get to that feel-good factor, that's where the money is. That's where the mother load is. That bit, when you get to that part where you have the relationship where you come off it and you've enjoyed it, that's when you're in the mother load of referrals, as long as the person you've networked with is network worthy.
Wow. So theoretically, when you are bedded into a network that is of a quality of status, I'm going to say like the ECI, the BNI is quality, man. You just got to be in the right chapter, you know, and the same with anything, you know, and, you know, so we say that
Well, I
once
think it
you've
comes down to
bedded in,
communication. I think so.
yeah,
For example, I was at an event almost a year now, and the event was at the House of Lords. Now, everybody was coming to a dinner at the House of Lords, yeah, an event dinner, and I put on a networking lunch. Now, people were traveling from different parts of the world, like the US, Canada, all over the place. I was traveling from Ireland. I was one of the speakers there. So I put the lunch on for everybody to meet. And when they arrived, bear in mind it was a networking event, people travel from one country to the next. I lined them all up. Put them all round in a big circle, and they all want to do the handshake and be the thing, which, yeah, that's fine, which that's normal. Now we got that out of the way, what's next? Why are you here? What opportunity are you looking to manifest or create in the future that brought you to this moment? Why are you here today? How can we serve, help, support you?
wow.
And now there was, I don't know, 50 at that event, and I had about probably 48 of them or thereabouts at the event, at the lunch. The lunch was about, I don't know, 8 hours before the dinner. They're about 6 hours. The point is that every single one of them found that conversation uncomfortable. None of them were future prepared. None of them were future ready. None of them were future planned. None of them could communicate on their behalf. None of them. They were looking for opportunities, and that's not disrespect to anybody. As soon as you made it real and said why, they were getting uncomfortable. And even when they said, well, yeah, and they go straight into the product service. Well, I do this and I'm not interested. And I wish I could throw an F word in. Not interested in what you do. Not interested. Yeah. I mean, I can go online and I can find probably better people that can do it. I'm interested in the person that does it. And so is anybody that networks. If I want to be sold, I'll go on to Amazon. If I want to be sold, I'll go on to eBay. Yeah. I don't want to be sold. I want a strategic partner. Doesn't have to be involved in my business, but I want somebody that's honourable and credible, that understands networking. If they don't understand it, I'll teach them. That's what ECI is about. Yeah. I couldn't find the network. So I made one.
Wow.
And I put diverse people in. I put people in that I knew were network worthy. They might have known it, but I did. Why? Because I spent years going into groups on behalf of BNI, training, doing this, doing that, and so real to the point, yeah, that people were uncomfortable with me because they do a 10-minute presentation and then at the end of it, you'd still ask them, well, and what type of referrals you're looking for? Or the worst one to me is they'd leave BNI and they go, BNI didn't work for me. And I go, fair enough. Did you make friends there? Yeah, made loads of friends. Still, they're friends for life. Brilliant. And you never had that. Now, once you had the relationship, you never had the real conversation. You
and
never.
Let me come back, because you said something there which was really poignant here, which is network future prepared. In the sense of, I'm going to come back to my ECI group, and I have amazing, conversations, amazing connections there. But my realization is that there is still a need for me to be network future prepared. And I'm seeing, and let's look at the caliber of those people in that room when you arranged that network event, that even regardless of what level you are, I know I could go to 10 prime businesses here in Wales right now, go to the director and say, right, give me your network future prepared. And I know they won't be able to give it to me. I know that so few people, and so that's why I'm saying it, I'm saying it by myself, because I know that I could go to 99% of connections right now and they would give me the same.
Yeah. And it's a very easy transition though, once you got the relationship, because that's the first point of call. You're not looking for Paul to buy the pens off of me. Yeah. What you're looking for, and it's a very easy translation. Bear in mind, you know where you are. So if you feel comfortable with the person and you're happy to refer them, You should have enough skills to realise if they're authentic. A lot of people are very good at putting a smile up or coming along and seeing you as their vehicle for success.
Been there, been
Yeah,
there.
me too. And because it has to be reciprocal, you think. But it doesn't have to be that I refer Paul and Paul refers me. It could be that I connect Paul to somebody that I know Paul can refer. And this is where people, I think, oh man, if they ever want to slap themselves around the face, this is it. Is if you said to me the industry you want to go in, yeah, and I know people in that industry and I've got a relationship, then I can go, well, yeah, I know John. Yeah, John has a program that goes out on Sky TV. Or I know John. John does projects with the US Defence Department. It's already approved. He's on the preferred list, preferred partners list. Sounds like that John could open a lot of doors for you. Yeah. Well, John and I go back a lot of years. Now, I haven't spoke to him in like probably the last, COVID's messed things up a bit. I haven't spoke to him in the last probably 2 or 3 years, but we pick up where we left off. Mm-hmm. What I'll do is I'll give John a shout, yeah, and check in. I don't want to just check in and say, oh, John, I've got a mate of mine, because John and I ain't spoken in a while, so I'm going to check in on John, pick up, yeah, and I'm going to mention that in a sense I was talking to you, and from talking to you, it made me think of him and see where he is now. Mm-hmm. Now, if I've got a good track record and good trust with him, I can say to John, what are you doing? And he's going, this. But I was talking to my mate Paul the other day, and Paul does such and such, and it made me think of you. And I said to Paul, we haven't spoken in probably 2 or 3 years, but I think you and him will get on very well. And I know, obviously, you do a lot with the Defence Department, so I've explained to Paul that, obviously, if I'm going to make this connection, I know Paul for a number of years now, and I know a lot of people that know Paul, and he has a good reputation. But I would imagine you're going to need to get a background check done first. I'm happy to refer Paul, but I know you've got a lot of I's to dot, T's to cross. But with what Paul's doing, does that match the problems that you're looking to find solutions for? It does, Lee. Well, I can recommend Paul. Paul's happy to go through the background check and to sign an NDA. And bear in mind, some of the people I do business with require all of these things.
Yeah. And
then once that's done, Paul's got a relationship where he can have an avenue to market that he would probably never get. Mm-hmm. And that's the piece where dreams are made.
Wow.
Not where sales are made. Where dreams are made is if you know where you're going,
yeah,
and your emotional autonomy is ready for that level of success. But some people like to grow into success. Some people like to medicate themselves to success. Yeah. Some people like to prove mummy and daddy wrong, or their wife or their ex-husband or whatever wrong, or their partner. See, I told you I could do it.
Yeah.
But, which means they're not out for success. They're on a therapeutic therapy session.
Wow. Lee, let me jump in on that. That's massive and so true. It's like, and we go, this minute and a half we got left. It feels to me that, a lot of people come into networking without having done or haven't got in place their own level of quality referral and are looking just to pull rather than actually, giver's gain is the great thing from BNI, and I love that, but also we feel, and not about the BNI, any networking is where we are, is a lot of people are saying, I'm coming in because I want a leg up into their referral. I am getting anything for myself, Do your homework, people. Be ready. Make sure that you are aligned with the networking event you're in. If they ask of you, then be ready to know what that ask is. I love future ready. Be future ready for your networking. That was just beautiful, man.
And if you want to add a bit more future proof, you got to, but the challenge is when we're growing, or when we're just starting out, we've got stabilizers on, we ain't too good on the seat. We're wobbling a bit, and that go back to the level you're comfortable and just go one step. Yeah. No, don't go from like not making any sales to I want to be an international company. Well, get the big picture. How are you going to get there? The Hansel and Gretel goals that's going to get you there is where the power is. And communicate those effectively, and you'll change your life.
Wow, this has been brilliant. We've condensed it into 30 minutes a day. No, like, subscribe, send your questions. And I'm out in Ireland in a couple of weeks. Then with Lee Turney. Where? I mean, this was an amazing, amazing deep dive. Lee, thank you very much. I'll catch you this time next week.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye for now.